Welcome back to another episode of the Educating the Reckless podcast with your host Apollo P and
nobetternina.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
All right, welcome back to you too.
Yeah, so let's get straight into how's your past week has been since we done the podcast?
It's been good. I had lots of family time.
Yeah.
So my cousin is pregnant right now, and my aunt is pregnant.
Out to them guys.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have a new niece because my aunt's having a new niece, a new cousin. A girl cousin, and then a new niece or nephew from my cousin at the same time, like literally 2 months apart. So
hold on. How? So you get a niece or nephew from your sisters or brothers?
Yeah, but like, because we basically consider our cousins like siblings.
Okay.
So like, pretty much like whenever they have kids, it's like our first cousins, not our second cousins, but whenever they have kids, it's like a niece or nephew to us too. Okay. But yeah, so I was really excited for that, and I saw a lot of my cousins. And then I also had the idea of doing like a drinking like game tournament thingy with my boyfriend, because like we can't go on dates or nothing. So I'm like, why don't we just do like a drinking game tournament thing? So like we played beer pong.
Hold on. I don't want to stop you. You can't go on like a walking date to like Scarborough Bluffs or something like that?
I mean, we could, but like we just haven't had the chance because yeah, it's just been really busy, and like he's working, and like, so yeah, it's kind of been busy, and it's kind of been hard to get our schedules to match up, and then I'm working from home too. So we did like a drinking thing because we kind of wanted to just like have fun, whatever. And so we played beer pong, and then we played a card game, and then we just ended up not playing any more games. But so we decided we're gonna do it again this weekend, and I bought these cards. They're called These Cards Will Get You Drunk, and they're like super cool. Like basically you pick up the deck, and it's like the first card is like person next to you wearing, if the person next to you is wearing jeans, they have to drink. Or like switch shirts with the person beside you. If it's physically impossible, you have to take a drink, and shit like that. So it's like fun. So I'm excited to do that. And I started a new show called Little Fires Everywhere, which like a lot of people have been watching. Have you heard of it?
Watching. Okay, a show. Oh, I thought you started like content. You started creating content. I was like, that went over my head. Okay. Yeah, no, I never heard that. I never heard that one.
Okay.
I was like, when did I miss that one on Instagram?
It's on Amazon Prime. And it's with Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon. It's okay so far, I guess. I'm only on the 3rd episode, so I don't really know how I feel about it, but that's all I did. Yeah, that's all I did.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right. I did stuff. I wrote it right here.
Yes.
So last week, this is an update to last week. So remember how I came on here last week talking about how this dude lives inside the house, going through problems. My mom took him in. He's still trying to, situate some things so he could, move out and stuff like that. I had talked to him aggressively about last week or before the podcast last week, and I told him, hey man, if you're gonna continue to use the washroom and you're messing it up, you're gonna have to contribute to cleaning it. Take him up a mop and a broom. Mm-hmm. And he had, he didn't use the washroom. I'm like, all right, cool. He'd rather not use the washroom than clean it. I'm like, all right, he's a whole bitch for that, but. It's true. It's honestly, it's true. But I say that to say this. So he came back to me a few days after that whole ordeal, and he had tried to give me a long-winded apology, talking about, hey man, I'm sorry, this, that, and the third. And I just looked at him, straight facial expression. I cut him off, and I told him, hey man, this is a long-winded conversation or apology. My thing is, are you gonna clean it or no? And then, in short, he didn't answer, and then he ended up walking away. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then I told my mom, hey, I kicked him out the washroom. It's like, oh, is that why the reason why he's using the one downstairs all the time? I was like, yeah.
Why didn't he use that one to start with?
Well, the one downstairs is half washroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah. So he kicked
we
him out.
Kind of have designated washrooms in my house, like who uses what, and like literally, like even if you have to pee, like no one uses the one on the main floor. That's like my grandpa's bathroom. The main floor, and then like we have one for my grandma and grandpa, my sisters and my parents, and then I have mine in the basement.
See, you have a lot more people in the house. So
Mm-hmm.
me, I have my own bathroom, and my brother uses the bathroom with my mom. But he
Mm-hmm.
had used to use mine just in terms of just going to the washroom and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he does all his like brushing his teeth and showering and stuff in my mom's washroom. But I have my own washroom that I just use. So when he came around, he started using it, which is perfectly fine, which whatever. But it's just the fact that he kept on peeing on the floor and shit like that. And
Yeah.
that, and then he started, when he brushed his teeth or some shit like that, I was seeing some like nasty gunk. And so
Ew.
yeah, so it got to a point where I was like, all right, bro, I'm done cleaning up this after this old ass man. So he doesn't use my washroom at all. And I could tell you, since the last time I cleaned it, it has looked perfectly fine. The only thing that's different about it is the fact that there's loose hair on there. Well, not loose, like when you comb your hair and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like it's on the floor a little bit like that. It's whatever.
Okay. That's fine. There's lots of hair on my bathroom floor because I have a lot of hair and it's always
Exactly.
falling out.
It's wear and tear. But if you look at it, I walk into my bathroom and I'm like, oh shit, still white.
Yeah.
Window is still clean. Sink is still white. Toilet is still white. Toilet seat around the floor is still white. And I'm like, all right, cool. The only thing that I got to worry about is the fact that I'm walking around with my slides and I'm obviously bringing around dust and that accumulates somewhere. But
yeah,
I still clean the washroom.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm happy right now. I got myself at emancipation. Kicked him up. Well, I kicked him out, and I got fuck him.
Wow.
Fuck him.
That's good. I'm glad I don't have washroom struggles.
Yeah, and also I started I didn't start. I was on YouTube and I had seen those little recommended videos of Love Island, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue the context and how Love Island is structured, but the videos that I watched on YouTube, little clips, them shits was funny.
I never got into Love Island. I heard it's really good, and a lot of people told me I would like it, but I never got into it.
I'm not going to watch a full episode, but them clips was hilarious. The clips that I watched are hilarious. Yeah. All right. Let's get into some more pressing news. So last week, in the world, or last week, I think this last weekend has been like the end of like the protesting, from what I see.
For now, until we get to the next weekend.
Yeah.
And then the next weekend. And then the next weekend.
The momentum is there.
And then the next weekend.
Well, let's.
And then the next weekend.
All right. All right. So we're gonna be protesting for the rest of our lives.
No. I just think it will be that many weekends at least for now.
So, I say that to say this. So, before one of the protests that were happening in Toronto, there was like some weird, nasty rumor that started popping up, talking about how the protest that's going to happen on, I believe this Friday, was going to have some people from Montreal that were going to drive 5.5 hours past the city capital, past a whole bunch of other cities to come to Toronto to violate the whole place. I don't know who started this rumor. I think it was pretty stupid. Yeah. But pause, because my brother, yo, bro, you here?
Intermission.
Yeah. All right. So I thought it was really nasty because I started to see more and more people. One of these girl that this girl I'm friends with, I'm cordial with, I'm cool with. She's clairvoyant. And she had told me like that this was like the Thursday night. She had not even told me, she said like I have a reading. She gave me the whole, the reading mumbo and jumbo. No disrespect.
I think I know who this is.
Yeah. No, you probably don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind that.
Yeah. She gave me the whole reading mumbo jumbo. No disrespect. And she started to say that she was getting bad vibes. So I don't think her clairvoyance was right at all. I don't think she's clairvoyant at about this particular thing.
Sometimes people make errors, but anyways.
This is true. But from that day, it was like Thursday night, and she had told me that, and I'm like, I don't necessarily intake all of that anyways. It's like, clairvoyancy is not going to stop me from going out just because you have a bad vibe. I mean, a rationale,
yeah,
something based in evidence is going to stop me from doing, maybe things that are possibly not good for me. And then after that, I saw on the internet how people kept on talking, and I saw like big influencers talking about how it's canceled and this, that, and the third, and people just saying bad things about this whole protest. And it got to a point where I was like, people are really fucking nasty, man. Yo, a lot of people out there are fucking haters. And it's not even, it's like the weirdest type of hate. It's like they player hating. It's like these guys, the people who started that or that protest on the Friday, they just did it for just some good intentions. And it's like obviously around the world. It's like clearly it's like now you having beef with, not even beef, but take that concept of whatever you have about that particular protest that was happening that day on Friday and now place that around the world. You think Black Lives Matter is necessarily doing a whole bunch of protests throughout the week? You know what I mean? These are other groups that are going on massive protests that are clearly drumming up a lot of media attention. Like YG is nowhere close to Black Lives Matter. I don't even think they want that man in the organization. I'll be honest. He's gangbanging and all that, but he's a rapper though. He's good. But the thing is, you got to look at it like that. How you just not, because it's not tied to Black Lives Matter. Now you want to back out and now you want to think it's unsafe because you got some weird ass rumors going around. That shit's so fucking weird. That shit was the weirdest shit I've ever heard. And a lot of people that were kind of promoting that type of news and pushing that around, yo, you guys should suck a dick. Oh my God, though.
My sister's, someone my sister has on Snapchat, they were posting as well that they were coming from Montreal to Toronto.
That makes no fucking sense, Nina.
Yeah.
It makes no
and he was like, stay tuned to my story to see what happens with like the devil emojis, whatever. And then like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. It was actually a peaceful one, and it drummed up a lot of media attention. Yeah. They got the cops kneeling and shit like that.
Yeah.
And the people want to have some type of attitude about the cops kneeling and shit.
Yeah.
Like, yo, bro, I'm gonna let you talk. I was heated. I'm not as heated as I was, but I was heated.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's wrong if people didn't want to go because of the rumor. Just because, like, if they really did believe it, which I believed it at the moment too. And I thought, you know, like, if there's gonna be looting and shit, like, I wouldn't go. But when it comes to the cops kneeling and stuff too, I don't know. I didn't really see it as a bad thing, but that's, mind you, also because like, it's like, it's not a bad thing, but then it's like, what are they going to do next? You know? I mean, we come to find out literally 3 days after that the chief is retiring. Actually, not even retiring. He said he's going to work still. So he's stepping down.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. That's kind of weird to me at this time. You're the city's first Black police chief. And you're stepping down at a time like this. I don't know. What do you think about it?
I think so. The brief moment that I was paying attention to, like, I think it was like CTV, like the All Day channel or some shit like that. They were speaking about how certain people that are in chief police positions, they often step down before the term is done, just so they can have a little bit of leverage in term, not even leverage, but just so that they're not left on the cliff. Is like, am I going to be here for another term or am I not? So they're going to kind of just give themselves that type of edge in terms of this thing, stepping down before the term is done. So that's one case. Another case is probably, it's very racial time right now, and police are probably police are one of the people that are really, or one of the organizations that are really targeted right now in terms of just really not really doing a disservice to the Black community overall. I mean, having a police chief that is Black. So obviously it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, we don't fuck with 12, well, not necessarily me, but people don't fuck with 12, and you're Black as well. So it looks like you are internally against the Black community, and it's like, you're not for us, you're with the enemy, you're at the op.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I don't know if that necessarily was his reason. Maybe because it was just a lot of stress going on and he didn't really know how to tackle something like this.
Maybe. And also because it was just kind of weird because like he made a statement, I think it was before the parade, after the parade, something like that. Anyways, before he made this announcement about stepping down, saying how like people in power such as himself are the people who can change these certain policies and things when it comes to the Black community, and like that's important to him. And then like this happened. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of odd that he's like stepping down right now, but I
also don't like the fact that this was another point that Godfrey said. He's another comedian, but he said, and I agree with him, and I've been agreeing even prior to, before he said it, I agreed with someone else that said something. I don't like when other fellow Black people, when they bring up a point that is totally non-contextual to what's going on in terms of saying black on black violence, which isn't a true term. I think it's just something that people drummed up because you kill people who you are in close proximity to. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
You're not killing them because they're black. Okay, I get what you're saying.
You're killing them because they're in close proximity. I'm going to kill who's next to me. You know, not necessarily who's next to me, but in terms of the landscape.
Or who you have beef with or whatever it is, yeah.
They are close to you. I'm not going an hour and 15 minutes to hunt down other blacks. This is not happening. Tell me where that is happening. I don't know where that's happening. That's murder for hire. And that's not a black on black crime. That was something even more.
And I think something important to point out, because a lot of people will use the excuse like, oh, well, blacks kill each other, whatever. Like, so does every other race. But the other thing, too, is when a black person kills another black person, what happens to the person who killed the black person? They're going to jail. They're getting arrested or whatever it is. Like, they're getting their punishment, unlike the police. So it's not a viable excuse.
Exactly. And I don't know why people bring this up in terms of, and not even just the violence, the black on black violence that people like to bring up, but they also like to bring up that shit that's an issue, but it's totally negating what is going on. Like, yes, there's plenty of issues that the black people can address. But right now, we're talking about police brutality right now. We're talking about, systematic racism. I'm also feeling like as one thing started, it just sparked up a whole other issues that people are kind of just putting in the pot of just things that we have to fight. But that's another conversation. But right now, we're just talking about the fact that there's injustices that continually happen that are behind, that are done because from the police, right? And people are bringing up. Remember, you gotta remember, that the homophobia within inside the black community is like, what is that? Like, okay, yes, this is true, but what does that have to do with the issue right now? Well, why do you have to bring this up? There are people talking about, colorism. Now they're talking about colorism within inside the black community. It's like, okay, this is true, but what does that have to do with what's going on right now?
It's like a lot of issues are being brought up at once, and I get what you're saying. Like, one thing needs to be focused on right now in order to change slowly over time, change the rest of them.
Exactly.
Like, colorism isn't colorism within the black community is not a priority right now, as opposed to
it shouldn't. It's an issue.
Brutality.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an issue. I'm not saying anything. If you hear something else, well, listen to it. I'm not saying it's not an issue. It's an issue. But why is it being brought up now?
Yeah.
Why are all these other issues being brought up now? We focus on this, right? Once we get that out the way, then we're able to unpack in certain things like that. But once you start adding way too many hands are inside the pot, that shit starts to get mucky, man.
The main thing gets kind of like rolled over.
And now everyone's in-house fighting, and it's like we fucked it up.
No, that's true. That is true. Like, I've heard conversations about colors and all that other stuff come up before, but I get what you're saying. Like, right now, that shouldn't be another conversation.
Truth be told. And also, they're talking about defund the police. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Hold on. And I put that later on.
Yeah, so, we'll talk about that later. Did you want to talk about the... Oh, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to put this really quickly. I just want to say So the Friday march had nothing. It was good. It was peaceful, right? It was peaceful.
Yeah, that one's fun.
But the one on Saturday at when they got to Nathan Phillips Square, a man in blackface showed up, and he was arrested. I'm not quite sure what he did to get arrested. I don't know. Maybe they just arrested him for his own protection.
I think it was inciting hate or something like that.
Is it?
Yeah, something like that. I saw.
That sounds like
They also
a crime.
Actually, I think it was on Friday. The police arrested a 21-year-old man carrying a large knife, walking like near the protest crowd, like a humongous knife. And then he was like resisting. I watched the video. He was resisting the arrest and everything. He wouldn't get down, like nothing.
Yeah. Hey man, there used to be a saying going around: comply or die. Probably too soon for me to say that. But,
Anyways, yeah. Did you want to talk about the one? Did you go to the one in Mississauga?
I actually didn't go to any, man.
There was one here in Vaughan too.
That's good.
That was small by Vaughan Mills. I did not go. I did want to quickly talk about because I don't know how much time we have left in this segment, but another thing that I think is getting overlooked right now is because of all the stuff that's happening, Ontario decided to sneakily pass a new law, which makes intoxication an excuse for sexual assaults in the court of law, meaning, I'll use myself as an example. If I was talking to this guy and he was really drunk and he decided he wanted to rape me, he could rape me and get away with it because they're going to say he wasn't in the state of mind, and he'll get away with it. And they used an example of someone who took like schizophrenic meds and they killed their mother or something, but because he wasn't in the state of mind, therefore it was excusable. Which is really fucked up because now guys are just going to forget getting girls drunk to have sex with them. Guys are just going to get drunk themselves and have sex with them, which is fucked up. So I signed a petition to reverse that as well. And before anyone gets at me, yes, I've been signing all the other petitions as well. Just had to put that out there. But yeah, so if you guys haven't signed that petition, I definitely recommend you do, because that's really messed up.
So I like Nina's take on it. Although this is the woman's perspective. So you got the woman's perspective. You're gonna hear my perspective as a man, and I would like to say as someone that's very objective. When I read the article that you posted on the page, I looked at it in a grander scheme, right? I saw it and I was like, okay, so the way that they worded it was they have to be in a state of extreme intoxication into where they're not doing anything voluntary, right?
Yeah.
So when people, and I remember taking this my first year in high school, my first year in university at York University, hey man, I took a class called Sex, Gender, and Society, right? And my TA was a feminist, a hard-headed feminist, a very vicious woman.
Okay.
A very vicious woman. And I remember I had raised this question back when she brought this up. And she was like, men will drink to have sex with other women or something along the lines. And I had question is like, how is when a man is intoxicated, now he's able to make conscious decisions to lead to raping other women? How is that possible, right? How and she was like, you know what? When guys get drunk, they know what they're doing. So those type of saying that and then having something else they kind of cancel each other out because they're not mutually exclusive, right? Me being drunk as a man doesn't necessarily mean I'm now more in control of my inhibitions, and that's you true. As a woman being drunk are less in control as your inhibition. Those two things don't correlate to me as a man. And I'm not trying to justify actions, right? I'm trying to say, if I am drunk, right, to a point where I'm not able to make conscious or any type of actions that I would do soberly, why would I be penalized as if that was the plan to get myself drunk and then act in a way of a complete like disgust? That means I was not into a point of intoxication to do anything. I was probably lightly drinking, even I was probably pretending to drink, you know?
I get what you're saying. Sorry, continue.
But my thing is, this seems like something that, all right, I see what the course is doing. I remember taking this one law class. The course is very black and white. They try not to have any gray room, right? And this is something that's going to be clearly black and white. But I feel like when someone does this, it has to be, now when we pass something like this, now we have to look at drunk driving, right? How do you know this person was in the right mind to even get the keys and get inside that vehicle and drive? Why are they being held accountable for their misactions? You know what I mean?
That's definitely true. I do see at first when you started talking, I was like, oh God, please shut up. But I do.
Come on.
No, I do understand what you're saying. It is true that when a guy gets drunk, it's like the narrative is that he knows what he's doing. Yeah. And when he's committing like something that's wrong, he knows what he's doing, and the girl has no idea what's going on if she was drunk. I do understand. I do agree with that's the narrative, but I just think what will happen now, the fact that this law has passed, people who are sober and do want to do these sexual assaults and rape girls and whatever it is are going to use this as an excuse now to get that fucked up and do it. And I think that's where it becomes problematic, is like, the other thing I wanted to say quickly was also, when guys drink, they get very, very strong. Like, I don't know what it does, but it does something where it's like you have next level strength. And so like, you might not intend to rape someone, but like, you also have next level strength that will literally like could hold someone down, like you literally can't get out of it, like as a girl, like, you know what I mean? So that is one of the side effects, like, of men being that drunk, and then them just getting away with it just kind of makes it like, well, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. But mind you, I don't think a guy who gets that fucked up is going to be able to rape somebody, because when I think of somebody getting that fucked up, I think of someone like myself getting blackout drunk, passed out, going to sleep. But now I think that these men are going to use it as an excuse. The ones who think about doing this on a daily basis, and sexual predators are going to choose it as an excuse to get drunk and do it.
And also, not only women are vulnerable now.
Yeah.
Well, we have children and other men.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? I feel like I see how they're framing it in terms of, I mean, I guess this is the best way to frame it to kind of get people to go behind it. But they're framing it as the men, the predators when they're drunk, and then the women as the victims. But I look at it as equilaterally, in terms of like, if a drunk man is strong enough and he's intoxicated enough, he not only can he harm women, but he can harm children, and he can harm other men such that may not be strong enough to defend themselves, right?
And animals.
And animals as well.
Bestiality is legal in Canada. Which
like,
is
you can fuck with them? Like, you can fuck animals here?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I did not know that. All right, so let's move on to the next topic, because
this is getting kind of disgusting.
All right, so you want to talk about TikTok? Because TikTok's been racist for a long time, but that shit is the best app out there.
That's what what I was going to say was, like, everyone's getting upset about the hashtag thing, and they are saying it's a random error. Okay, fine. If it's racist, it's fucked up. But, like, at this point in time, don't you feel like there is an app that we need to ease our minds right now? Like, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and Snapchat even are all flooded with everything that's happening, and it can get to anyone's mental health. Like, it can be like, it can make you very anxious or like overwhelmed. So exactly. Like, I feel like TikTok is that one app that everyone has as an escape to watch all these like funny videos and stuff. Like, TikTok was never made for nothing serious. Like, TikTok was always a joke. Like, everything on there is a joke. So, like, I think it's fucked up if they are racist, but, like, I'm not canceling them over it, because that is that one place I literally go to escape during this time.
Like I said when I introduced this, TikTok is the best app out there. There's way too many people that are way too creative on that motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It's so good. I love it.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. But they say, like, a lot of black creators, when I was, going heavy on it, black creators coming forward, talking about how, this disproportion of black people and stuff like that, and black content creators are not being credited for this stuff. And first off, for people who haven't been on TikTok and only see like partial videos and not necessarily on the app itself, people rob jokes all the time. It's very prevalent. It's one of the things that's TikTok. You come up with an original idea or a creative idea, motherfuckers will take that shit and do it over 60,000 times. And then you'll be looking at the things like, I didn't get my credit. Yes, you probably didn't get your credit.
Yeah.
But that's what TikTok is. I mean, yeah, it's kind of fucked up, but like,
that's what, you get to use that sound from someone else's video. Yeah.
Roll the punches, man. Stop fucking around. And also, people talk about how black creators are not necessarily getting a lot of shines on the For You page. And then someone has said this, right? There are more white people, there are more other races on that app. And white people are kind of on the top tier of that app, right? The most popular person on that app is Charli D'Amelio, right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I say that to say this, right? Black people are not necessarily on a disadvantage. We're outnumbered. Right.
Okay, but I will also even say for myself personally, I can say I've seen a decent amount of black videos on my page. Yeah. My one, like, I think it honestly depends on
algorithm.
Yeah, algorithm and location, because it shows you people nearest to you. And a lot of my one friend, her whole thing for the longest time was all Indian people, and she's like, I don't understand why the fuck I'm seeing all Indian people, but it is people close to you, because I see like kids from like that go to my old high school posting videos at my old high school, and I'm like, this is weird, like I don't know these kids, but my sister told me it's people who are near you. That's the algorithm when it's for you on the For You page.
Exactly, and it's stuff that you like, right? So it kind of it builds up a portfolio of what you like, and then.
But yeah, I've never seen like a serious video on TikTok before.
I've seen
about the protests and stuff. I've seen the ones about people dying, like the quick sad ones, but I've never seen nothing about the protests or nothing.
I see some dark jokes on that motherfucker. When someone dies, they get to the dark joke easy.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for dark jokes, man.
Yeah, we know.
If you can make a dark joke funny, I clap.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get too much into that though.
Yeah.
All right, so keep it 2 Virgils with me, Nina.
Yeah, I will. Always. Always. I don't know, like I don't understand why this guy said that he said that afterwards he was matching a friend's donation, and he actually donated I think 210,000 or something.
Is it I thought it was 20,000. Yeah, 20,
oh, maybe it was 20,000. I don't know. Who knows? It was some kind of number in the thousands. And I was like, okay, but like still, why would you post that? Like $50.
That shit look tacky, man.
Yeah.
Yo, that's the first time I seen someone donate something and people got offended. It's like, bro.
Like that was just mind blowing to me. I was like, this guy really posted that? Like really posted, and he didn't think, because I know he saw it. Like he didn't think about it.
He left it up for the full 24 hours. Too.
Like he didn't think about it at all. He was just like, all right, fuck it. $50, that's fine. I don't know. That was crazy. God. That was crazy for me. But I like the saying that came out of it.
He's a whole meme now.
Yeah.
Yo.
I'm gonna call that this episode. That's what this episode's gonna be. That's what you should name this episode. You're naming it. Keep it 2 Virgils with me.
Or no Virgil discounts.
50% discounts? I don't get it.
No, that's also a 2 Chainz song. Virgil discounts.
Oh, I didn't know that. You lost me there. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's not very hip hop of. That is not very hip hop of you. So this other story with Kanye West. Apparently, Kanye West is a freedom fighter inside the Ku Klux Klan cloak.
Yeah, apparently he's been secretly fighting for the black people, because they're saying, so GLC saying that Kanye got rid of all his MAGA hats and was just wearing them to get innocent people out of jail. Mm-hmm. He said he's never wearing, he gave him boxes of his hats and said he's never wearing them again. Mm-hmm. And he said that basically he didn't get to have the meetings with Donald Trump until he put the hat on.
Yeah.
And then he's only been donating to Democrats. So he donated to Hillary. He didn't donate to Trump.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like, and then even now with the protests, he donated $2 million to George Floyd, George Floyd's daughter's college fund, and some other money to Breonna Taylor and I think Ahmaud Arbery as well.
He's doing his thing.
And he didn't say anything about it, and everyone loved that. Everyone was like, thank you, this is what we wanted you to donate, and just not say a thing about it. Like, just shut up and don't say anything about it.
I mean, those people are haters, man.
But I think this is like, if that was really it all along, I think that was used pretty well. He used...
finish what you said, because I'm gonna put a stamp on it after you.
Okay. I think he used what he did pretty well, like with the MAGA hats, getting people out of jail. And like he faked it until he did what he had to do, which I thought was good.
Yeah. So I'm glad that so this right here, this right here, if you're a black or an ally, and you are doing what you gotta do to help further society in terms of upbringing the people that are oppressed, right? Do not be forced to do any extra shit. Do the stuff that you need to do within inside the covertness of, or within inside the system, right? And then pull what you can out to save people. Because what Kanye West is, right? Mm-hmm. He is the spook who sat by the door, right? This is a book and a movie about a black man who got himself, not to say infiltrated, but got himself into the CIA or some type of government operation. And the black people from his community, the black people that were also trying to get inside that same thing, looked at him, called him all types of names, thinking that he wasn't black. But he knew deep inside that once he got inside that government organization, he was going to take the information and then bring what he learned and teach the people back in the hood of Chicago how to fight back against the man.
And that book was in Chicago? That book was set in Chicago? Wow.
Yes, it was.
Would you look at that?
And that's the spook that a lot of people don't know about that book. You know,
I read it in high school, I think, but I don't, like, in grade 9.
The spook who sat by the door. And that's why me personally and other people, that's why I'm not looking at people who doing what they
like canceling them right away when they do something you don't like and blah, blah,
not even that. I'm not even during this time right now. A lot of people are paying attention to people who may not be doing other things publicly, right? And I'm not necessarily looking at those type of people like, why is someone texting me right now? Fuck, man.
Fuck, just put your phone on silent.
Shit, I thought this shit threw me off. Fuck, what was I talking about, man?
People shouldn't, something about people canceling them and people shouldn't be.
Okay, yes. So yes, there we go. So a lot of people right now are trying to, take notes and paying attention to people who are not publicly supporting what's going on right now, right? And me knowing that there's different ways people can help. There's different ways people are helping, and not necessarily they don't need to tell you everything, because the real action, like real results, come through real actions or different types of actions. Right. So the spook who sat by the door goes to Kanye West for not saving, but contributing to the Black community in ways of getting close to the highest chair inside that country, which is Donald Trump,
and president. Making him look like an idiot for getting fooled.
Exactly. So all those people, I'm not to say fuck you, but you know what, whatever.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that Kanye, that's what was going on.
Come on, man.
This one I don't really understand. So
it's pandering. It's called pandering. That's just call it what it is. Pandering.
What's pandering?
Is when you try. Let me Google it for you.
Do you even know what it is?
I do know what it is, but I want to get it right.
Okay.
Well, pandering is when you try to appease a particular audience.
Okay.
So like, if I go on, Twitter and talking about, this, that, and the third, all right. Okay, pandering is gratified or indulge in immoral or distasteful. Okay, this is not
That's
even.
That's not the word.
Pander.
Okay, well.
Okay, go. Don't worry about me.
Okay, so the co-founder of Reddit, okay, he founded the whole website, everything. Co-founded the whole website, everything, and is also married to Serena Williams and has a daughter with Serena Williams. Therefore, his daughter is half Black. Alexis Ohanian. He resigned from. He's like not working for Reddit anymore, and he's not the co-founder anymore. And he's asking for his seat to be replaced with a Black candidate. And he said that he's doing because when his daughter asks him what he did during this time. He's like, what are you going to be able to tell your kids that you did? Like, what are you going to be able to tell your Black kids what you did? I'm really confused by this because, like, what does this do? Am I missing something? No, seriously, like, am I actually being ignorant right now? Am I missing something? Because what does it actually do?
Pandering. So a panderer is someone who tries to please others, not to help them, but for an ulterior motive. A panderer kisses up to get something. A panderer is sometimes vulgar. Politicians are often panderers, especially the ones who say or do anything to get the votes to raise money. Right?
Because I just don't like. You literally co-founded this whole website, this popular. It's yours. You don't have to feel bad. Like, it's literally yours. You put all this hard work into it, and now you're not in a position of power to even make sure they hire a Black candidate.
Idiot.
It doesn't make sense.
You know what someone said? I watched a YouTube video, and they suggested the reason why he stepped down is because he's in a he's in an interracial relationship. And he's probably seeing this time. What's her name? Serena's probably putting pressure on this white man, talking about, you got to do something. You got to show the world that you are contributing to the Black Lives Matter movement, or a fraction of whatever that you believe is contributing to the Black lives in community. And so he's looking at his daughter, he's looking at his Black wife, and he's probably going, okay, you know what? Let me just step down from my seat and help with systematic racism by telling my people to bring in a Black body into the organization to fill my seat. And that way is going to show that my daughter, that I'm able to step down and help fellow Black people, and also to the world and my white and my Black wife, that I'm able to sacrifice my white privilege for the greater cause.
I don't know. Like, if I was a Black person, I would never want that job, because it's like a charity job. It's like I'm just giving it to you because I feel bad for you.
Yep, that's what affirmative action in the United States is.
It's just so ridiculous. Like, donate money, protest, do something, but giving up your seat as co-founder of this big website that you worked hard for, and now, like, this is like your other child. Like, this was your baby before you had your baby, and now it's like you don't even have a position to even ensure that they do hire a Black candidate. It's just a little backwards to me.
I honestly, I looked at that move as a I not only just to say as a man, but as someone who just looks at things like, try to look at black and white, objectively. Mm-hmm. I looked at it as that just seems like a very stupid move to do. As a man who goes out and has a purpose, because this is his purpose. Like, all men have a purpose in life, mm-hmm. right? And they got to follow that purpose. And to be
all people have a purpose.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the man right now, Nina. All right, can you respect that? Can you respect that?
But like, women have a purpose too.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about them right now. I'm not even trying to exclude them as in type of putting to the side. I'm talking about what men have, right? Men find joy in their purpose, whatever that purpose may be.
So
They come on, Nina, stop it.
I'm so serious right now. I don't understand why you're only focusing it on men.
Can we get ours? Man?
Yeah, you've been had yours.
Oh my gosh. Come on. You know what? I'm not even gonna finish it. Fuck it.
No, finish it. I'll listen. I'm just saying, that's just my point.
So as a man, right? As a man, you get joy from your purpose in life, right? You feed into it. You try to do everything to build it up. And to just toss it away to the wayside because of maybe in-home pressures, because of your wife or societal things, it is really shows you that as a man, like you don't have a solid base, for you to just be able to give that up just so whimsical, you built that up. That's something that you want to call yours, right? Don't do that. I feel like the best thing you could have done was something a little bit more proactive rather than give up your seat. And then, give up shares of the company to help contribute to Black community over the years. Or
even created new policies within Reddit for, like, safe spaces within Reddit for the Black community to discuss these issues and things like that. Maybe ramped up your monitoring on hate speech, stuff like that. Like, it's fucking weird.
You got about, like, a little over 15 minutes.
Yeah, so what do you want to touch on?
I don't give a fuck about Bad Baby. She's 17. She gonna come back and she's gonna get the Justin Bieber treatment.
No, I think
Negro beware.
Okay, I think she's gonna end up the same, because she went to rehab when she was on Dr. Phil, and she came back and she saw how famous she got, and she said she's gonna continue acting like that so she can make money, and Dr. Phil applauded her for that. So she can be a normal person, but yeah.
Doja Cat gave away $100,000. We're really quick. To be honest, I am not mad at that. I'm not trying to cancel Doja. I never really listened to her anyways, but she contributed to a positive fund. And for that, I'm not going to hate on that. What about you?
I think she did it just to do it and just to make everyone else shut up. I think it's good. Like, it's good, but I still don't like what she said.
All right. That's understandable. Blueface made some ignorant comments. He was trying to get that George Floyd discount from the furniture.
Yeah, not a good idea, but I'm also not surprised at who said it.
Yeah, that's Blueface, baby.
Yeah.
You didn't see that.
No, you did the.
I have to say, so fuck Trina. Never mind.
Forget that.
So let's talk about for the rest of the time here. Let's talk about it. So we had the 4 officers, which I predicted, not to try to pat myself on the back. I said these guys are going to get arrested, right? What happened, Nina?
Just pat yourself on the back.
There we go. I'm not clairvoyant or anything, but
they got arrested.
I got history to kind of fall back on.
Oh, sorry. Quickly, the Atlanta officers who tased that college university couple and aggressively removed them from the car, they got arrested, but 2 of them are suing the mayor for being fired.
That's the American way. That's the American way.
I don't understand that place, man.
That's the American way, man. People sue when they're down bad. It's like if I'm fucked up, because the thing is, you could sue, and you don't have to pay anybody to sue when you take it to civilly. You don't gotta pay a lawyer. You could just take it. You could just sue someone, and it could go to court, and you could come up on some money. Mm-hmm. It's the American way to sue when you're doing.
Can I just say though? Okay, I'm asking this as a question.
Yeah.
Because those cops who did that to the Atlanta couple, they were Black as well.
Yes, they were, and students.
So why? HBCU. Yeah. No. But the cops were Black. The 6 cops were Black. So why are they moving like that?
You know what the.
And why did the Asian cop in the George Floyd case? Well, actually, that one I could say Asian people can be racist, but why did the Black cops move? There's Black, even in the Freddie Gray case, it was Black cops. There was Black cops in there.
That Freddie Gray, so they didn't get charged for that Freddie Gray. We don't know how he died inside the but we're not even gonna go there. But there's a scene in Boys in the Hood where, or maybe a line from Ice Cube, is not every brother is a brother.
Okay.
You know what? And oftentimes the worst cop isn't the white cop. It's the Black cop trying to show out for the white cop. That's what Ice Cube said in his line.
It's like trying to impress the school bullies. Like,
exactly.
I have the same power as you, even though my skin color is different. You don't think I do?
Yeah. So a Black cop will do you worse than a white cop.
That just blows my mind. Like, if I was in that position and I seen everything that's happening right now, I don't know, man. It's so fucked up to me. Like, anyway, sorry, continue. I don't want to waste our 15, probably 10 minutes now.
Well, we got about 13.
Right.
The 4 cops got arrested, and the first cop, I don't know his name, but the white guy with the hairline,
Derek Chauvin, whatever.
There we go. His third degree murder charge was upgraded to a 2nd degree murder charge, and people are kind of upset with that because they're looking for 1st degree, where 1st degree is not enough evidence to give him 1st degree, and even if they did charge him, he would get off. So 2nd degree is more suitable for what he got going on. It's criminal negligence. Mm-hmm. And he killed someone in the process of detaining someone.
Because that's how George Zimmerman got off. They did it for 1st degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to charge him with what he's supposed to be, what he's purposely charged for, so it sticks. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about this? The fact that 4 of these officers were arrested, and they the 3 officers got their bail set at like close to 75. Was it $500,000?
I think so.
It's up there. It's up there.
Yeah. I'm glad that they got arrested. I just, like I said, I'm just hoping that their charges turn to convictions.
Yeah. So, and that's where we're at right now. I think if people continue to bring this topic up or bring this conversation up, it's not only going to influence jurors, because you want unbiased jurors, but I feel like the videotape that was present that went viral it shows clear as day, because certain times in the court of law, you could use video footage and have a different narrative to it, to where it might not seem as what it looks like. Mm-hmm. But this one seems clear as day. It shows that the officer is staying on this man's neck for about 9 minutes, mm-hmm. right? And we have other officers who asked a question and did not proceed to take that man's knee off his neck, right? He was like, should we do it? You allowed this man to take someone else's life. So,
and he beat him up in the car before.
Yeah. So there is evidence that's going to show that the officers didn't do their due diligence, it didn't do their job properly, and killed someone, and other officers watched while that happened. Right. Mm-hmm. So that is where we're at in the situation right now in terms of social issues. And I'm glad that we're here. Mm-hmm. All right. So like I was saying earlier on the podcast, There's a lot of other issues that did pop up, and it's kind of hard. I want to be really quick and brief with them. You know how I brought up, now everyone is on this train of exposing races, right? Remember how last week I had brought up the conversation is everyone's just getting this type of, lust for just exposing racist conversations and all of that, because we live in a very tattletale culture, right? Everyone just putting stuff out. Even Star Jackson is put on Twitter and was like, hey, just send me any racist conversations and I'm exposing them on Twitter, like as if that is some cool shit. And I just want to break this down a little faster. I was watching this YouTube video and it's like, okay, we as maybe a minority, black people are getting pleasure or taking victories, small victories from these little racist conversations to try to get these people fired. But like I said last week, these people are white. If you're exposing racist white people, the saying is they're white, they'll be all right, right? They could deactivate, their Twitter account. They can get fired from that job. And what I said, you can maneuver through North America, Europe, effortlessly and start over again because you're white. You'll be all right. So they can start over again in a different position and still be able to have a great living and probably go back on Twitter with maybe a troll account and continue to even do what they're doing before, but maybe even at a higher point because you're no longer able to identify them, right?
I get what you're saying, but I still go back to what I said last week when we spoke about this in terms of like, if you take down these racist people, because you can't necessarily take down the system all at once, it's like it's still going towards a bigger picture because it's taking them down one by one. And if we look at, for example, with the Amy Cooper video, the Karen in the park in New York, when she called the police African American in the park, whatever, the guy who said to put her dog on a leash, they've now, Andrew Cuomo, I don't know how to say his last name, but
I think you got it right.
The governor, he now has put in place a law that makes it illegal for you to say you have an African American or whatever it is on the phone. So I think it comes down to that, like that was exposing that lady for being racist and it got a policy put in place, which I think is important.
Exactly. But I think that's a unique situation that we saw. Not in terms of unique, but it was caught on camera and it was able to make into a bill, right? In terms of now you exposing the private conversations that you had with someone inside the DMs or a text message, and you're trying to put that out there on the internet, as that's not going to create a bill. It's not going to create a text message app where racist words will now be, gone to your telecommunication company and be held against you.
Just take this idea and do that.
Fuck then. Oh man, fuck. A lot of shit's fucked up after that. I'm not even gonna be texting people no more. Fuck that. If that happens, fuck that. I'm not texting no more.
I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying because it is excessive.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, everybody has their own views. Like we said last week, if you're racist, obviously we don't want you to fuck with us. We're not gonna force you to fuck with us.
Yeah.
But everyone has their views. There's people you talk to every day who support Trump, but you just don't know that because it's not written on their forehead. It's something they internalize, right? So I understand what you're saying. It's getting a bit excessive, but that my perception on it is just that, like, at the end of the day, it's working towards hopefully changing policies in order to make the system better.
Yeah. I mean, and I say that to say this. In terms of not only exposing racists, a lot of people got on the internet to now dig up old tweets of just regular people. Motherfuckers who just wake up down the street. They just digging up old tweets on other people and getting at them and trying to cancel them over maybe homophobic tweets. These are just regular people. Regular people within, like, maybe black people as well, having colorist tweets that are being brought up from 2012.
I've seen some like that,
And I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers don't even have like 1,000 followers. Like, what are we doing here?
That and not for nothing,
and also abusers,
sexual abusers. Not for nothing, but 8 years, people do change.
Yeah.
Their opinions change.
Yeah.
The one thing that is always constant in the world is change.
Yeah.
Like, I will use Chris Brown as an example. He beat Rihanna and everyone went nuts. But the guy really did a full 360 and changed.
180.
Yeah, sorry, 180. 180.
He's back the same person.
Sorry. He did a 180 though, and that is my biggest example to go to for a change. Yeah. I know people in my life personally who've completely changed their lives. So people do change. Opinions change. People realize they fucked up or they were immature when they were younger and stuff like that, you know? So yeah, I think it's interesting.
Okay. All right, and quickly, people are now pushing this whole defund the police. I just want to be quick because we still got.
We only have like 2 minutes left. Yeah.
So people are pushing this whole defund the police because they want to take the allocated money that goes towards the police organization and put it into other communal organizations around like Black facilities or educational systems. For that, let's just quick. Do you support defunding the police?
Yeah.
Okay. Me, not so much. I don't necessarily feel like defunding I asked this question: is defunding the police going to stop them from kicking our ass? And if it's a no, then I feel like we need to find another way.
I don't think it's going to stop them from choosing to kill Black people or being racist towards Black people, because like we saw with Derek, he literally killed George with his knee. But for the others, in terms of like getting shot and stuff, defunding could also mean less access to guns. Maybe, I don't really know how the police works, to be honest with you, but like less access to certain weapons and things like that, you know? I just think it's really unfair and crazy how funded the police is compared to the education system. Like I have friends who, like, I didn't know that like teachers had to buy like crayons and shit themselves. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they get like a budget, but I think they get a budget. Yeah. And then I think they get reimbursed.
Like my friends, and then my friends were telling me, like one of my friends is a teacher and she was telling me how she buys like certain things for a classroom. And I'm like, what the fuck? I would never.
This has been around since I was in school.
Yeah. And I didn't know that. And I was like, oh shit. Like, so that's really crazy to me.
Also, do you feel like the message from the initial protest has changed and warped as to where we're at right now?
Kind of, sort of, in a sense.
I agree with you. I honestly feel like it went one way, and now it's like there's just a lot of, they're asking for a lot. Not to say there's wrong asking for a lot, but I think if you're trying to follow along, you might have lost your way because you're now confused, or there's just way too much information to intake and you just don't feel like you're able to follow along properly.
Yeah, and I think the message is still somewhat intertwined. Like first it was to end police brutality and Black Lives Matter, and now it's also about anti-racism as a whole.
Yeah. And what else is there? All right, so people feel very emotionally and mentally drained after these last few weeks in terms of the amount of social media presence, a lot of, bombardment of information, and a lot of in-house fighting as well. How do you feel being a person that's on the social media, seeing what's going on? Do you feel emotionally drained, mentally drained?
I'm not gonna lie, I felt very overwhelmed last week or the week before last week. Because of the industry that we're both in, I had to repeat the same stuff and like constantly stay up on my research about the whole ordeal because I'm talking about it on my swing shift. I'm talking about it with you. I'm talking about it on hashtag. So imagine like 3 times a week. Like, I get it. Like, that's not like compared to what is actually happening to Black people and like how they have to face this every single day. It's completely different. I'm not knocking that or not acknowledging that, but it was definitely very overwhelming for me at one point where it was just like, I was getting really depressed, like going on social media. Like I didn't want to go on it anymore, but like I had to because of what I do. So yeah, it was definitely very overwhelming for myself. What about you?
No, to be honest, no. I live by my whole philosophy where this is not necessarily draining to me. It's very entertaining. Not to say that I was entertained like in a happy way, but I was intrigued. I was like, okay, I see what's going on. I'm seeing different things. I'm monitoring, I'm observing. I'm seeing how people are intaking this, because certain people, I guess, internalize certain things. I'm not necessarily internalizing the same way people may have, internalize it, just because I feel like the perception on the social media is a lot different from what outside. I'm outside. A lot of people can't say the same thing about themselves. But I'm gonna let you have the last word, and we can just wrap it up right here. Anything else you want to share?
No, I guess a lot of my overwhelm overwhelmingness, if that's a word, in the beginning came from
Yeah.
like, because when I used to scroll past all that stuff and just like seeing everything and seeing videos of young kids like being confused and stuff, I don't know, it just, that for me, that kind of hit a soft spot like that first week. And like I would literally not cry, but like a 1-2 tear would come out of my eye, like, because I would think about like, I don't know, like you or like my other Black friends or my boyfriend or like whatever, and just like the fact that like you're literally a target because of the color of your skin, like that breaks my heart to think of people like that. But I know personally are good people, but simply because the way the color of your skin is portrayed in media, it just makes them a target. And I think that's what was really upsetting me at first. So
very unfortunate times that we live in, but I'm going to stay optimistic. And moving forward, I'm going to be the change that I want to see in the world. And I think that's the best thing I can say, and that's the best thing that others can say. Right? Not only just protest, but be the change that you want to see in the world. All right. And that is the end of our podcast. We have touched on a few things that are going on in the community right now. A lot less harsh than last week. But still educational, still reckless. Oh, not that much. I'm not saying anything.
It's pretty educational today. A little bit reckless earlier.
Oh yeah, with the whole flyer down shit.
and the man thing. Finding his purpose. We still live up to our name.
Oh shit. All right, so you can catch you can catch we do clips. We do clips on YouTube.
Yeah, we do clips,
We do clips on YouTube. So if this is too much to share with your people and you're listening, you got to the end of this and you're like, yo, I want to share this with people, but these motherfuckers go on for an hour and I don't want to share an hour with someone. We got clips on YouTube, all right? So you post clips, just feed them to your friends as they subscribe to our YouTube page, Educated and Reckless, and subscribe to our Spotify if you haven't.
And Apple Podcasts.
And
rate us.
And rate us. Exactly. Give us some ratings, man. Help us out.
Yeah.
And we'll be back again next week with more educational and reckless conversations. All right. This has been Apollo P. Oh, fuck. I fucked it up. Fuck. This has been another educational. Oh, fuck, bro.
You want me to do it?
This has been another episode of the Educated and Reckless podcast with your host, Apollo P. and
No Better Nina.
All right, man. See you next week.
Bye.